From Wall Street to Main Street, this is Lalate.
It's a big evening of Evenings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In tonight's recording, we go over the breaking news as a House passes your incredible recon. That recon is now heading to the Senate, and in that Senate, they're going to add more stuff into that incredible recon. Potentially the other half of my voice. They're going to be adding the incredible provisions on top of $15,000 of checks you're going to get from this recon. Then they'll be adding to the items that have evolved on the third stimulus. You don't have to wait to have your bills paid today. You can get your bills paid right now under third stimulus. That's $45,000 that viewers are getting across the board, currently being paid out across the land. How do you get this money? I go over in this recording tonight. Then we'll be turning to the exciting details of student loan debt forgiveness. More debt could be forgiven. The president has an offer on the table. Will the Democrats take it? The fifth stimulus coming in January. That will raise your benefits up if you're on SSI and SSDI. And then the exciting details of frame wars. They don't see eye to eye because they don't have the same prescription. Maybe they need to take off the sunglasses. Maybe they could see eye to eye. Those details and more as we have a big, bold, beautiful evening. I'm excited you're here. I'm excited I'm here. I mean, only half of my voice is here, but the rest is, having bacon. Maybe, maybe not. Yes, and with that, exciting details abound as we're going to the Senate from the House with a recon that pays you on average $15,000. But on top of that, third stimulus paying you $45,000. Those details and more starting right here, right now on Evenings. Having a beautiful evening across the land, and here we go. The House of Representatives have now sent the recon to the Senate. The recon passed at the House of Representatives last Friday, and now the Senate will make changes. What will be those changes? I'll explain the details. They're going to start with a recon that pays you on average about $15,000 of checks. More checks could go on top of that and will go on top of that because the senators vowed to add more items of stimulus. But don't wait to pay your bills with fourth stimulus. Do it with third stimulus. Third stimulus is available right today, and it'll pay on average $45,000 of viewers this channel. Then student loan debt forgiveness, more debt could be forgiven. Whose debts? I have the latest details in tonight's recording. Then we turn over to fifth stimulus heating up in January. You need it. And then the latest details of frame wars because they just don't see eye to eye. Plus a preview of sirloin and some cows and some beach. And some bacon. No, not bacon. And no, not the other half of my voice. That's missing for tonight. But with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers is a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Coming up next is Evening's Countdown, then Stream Stimulus, then Sirloin at 8 o'clock, and we got shows at 9, 10, 11:30 tonight. All about the same programs for fourth stimulus, so watch those videos. And with that, here we go. Subscribe, like this video, and consider becoming a member, and away we go in this recording. We have a lot coming up. We're going to go over the recon, fourth, that passed this week, the checks, how you get these checks. Then we go back over each of the checks one at a time. Then we turn to fifth stimulus and and the third stimulus is paying money right now, and student loan debt forgiveness. All right, here we go. The House of Representatives passed an incredible recon last Friday that is now in the Senate that pays you on average $15,000 of checks, lots of checks, multiple checks across this fourth stimulus recon. And the money is deliciousness. There's a lot of checks. How do you get it? What are those checks? They are separated among three clusters with two add-ons. Let's go to the first cluster right now. Hazard pay got it in there. Earned income tax credit for my essential workers 1 more year. Then they got the $4,000 of elder care. Got it in there. The $4,000 to care for the young children. Got it in there as well. The Pell Grant got in there. $550 checks for my Pell Grant recipients. Then they got the CTC, the child tax credit, 1 more year for my young children, $3,600 approximately. And finally, they got in there the home repairs, great for my low-income families or low-income communities. They got those home repairs totally free. Finally, $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. Wow, that is the first cluster of checks passed. The first add-on comes from Maxine Waters here in Los Angeles. And what is this check for? It's a check to go get the second half of your voice. It's missing. No, it's a check to go buy your first home. Wow, it's incredible. Maxine Waters getting incredible provision in there, and she wanted $25,000. It's a little bit less. How do you get this money to buy your first home? It's coming up later in this video. Stay with me. I'll go over the details. Let's go to the second cluster of checks. Here we go. They got in there home repairs and paid leave. Wow. They got in there paid leave. They got in there the household tax credit, pre-kindergarten, and free money for 1 year, and then the home repairs. You definitely need to make those home repairs. What is this? It's weatherizing your home. Weatherizing your home. So your home can sustain anything at any time. Houses have to sustain a lot of stuff. They do. There's always a natural disaster hitting every house, especially one example of a house disaster we saw this week was when Kevin McCarthy wouldn't shut up. That was a horrible house disaster. Yeah, you got to weatherize your house so you can sustain whatever Kevin McCarthy won't zip it. Let's go to the second add-on checks, and it comes from the illustrious Bob Casey. $250 billion for home health care and seniors on disabilities. Wow, this is great. Again, this is free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. He wanted this number, he got a little bit less. How do you get this money? It's coming up later in this video. Stay with me. We go to the third cluster of checks, and here's where it becomes deliciousness. They got in there free school meals for all. They got in there cheaper prescription medication. They got immigration reform. Farmers, they got in there free internet. Also, workers like independent contractors and Medicare expansion. Okay, so the Medicare expansion, it starts with 2 items on the House, and then the Senate's adding 3 items. Whoa, how does this work? So the House bill passed this Friday has 2 items of Medicare expansion. First, the Medicaid gap states, and second, adding in hearing. Bernie wants to add 3 other provisions: dental, vision, and also the lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. And that's the Senate side. Senators have a lot of work to add to this recon. And those senators also want to add in there an MSC. MSC stands for multiple IRS stimulus checks. We have the 6 senators who have told thousands of viewers over the last few months they're adding in there when the bill lands the Senate. Now it's in the Senate. And those 6 senators told 3 viewers this week, including Lynn, Glenn, and Donnie, that they are still adding that MSC in there. So you need to advocate. And what are we looking at when we look at this MSC? The last time the legislators talked about, they said, we're looking at $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for 6 total months. And the same eligibility as a third stimulus check. So that would mean the following. Third stimulus check eligibility was the following: $75,000 or less, you get a single check. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you get it, double it. Family of 4, you get a quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, rail benefits, you get as well. Now, when you look at this MSC, it's important you time manage yourself in a given week. You want to give some time to call the 2 S's, the 2 C's, and the 2 W's to advocate for that inclusion across the board. But you also need to do something else. Call Sanders Sumer, Casey Coons, Warren Wyden, but also give yourself some time to get the money that's available right today from third stimulus. Because third stimulus is law, not fourth. Fourth is not law yet. Third stimulus is law, and you can get these sums of money. The average viewer of this channel has gotten $45,000 for third stimulus. Get your bills paid today. How do you do it? It's coming up later in this video. No time or place to wait for an MSC, because fourth stimulus is not paying out anyone anything this week or next week. Third stimulus is paying out already. And thousands of viewers of this channel in the last week have gotten money from third stimulus. How do you do it? I have it coming up in the second half of this video. We'll be turning over to also the exciting passage of that recon out of the House. What does it mean for us? The Senate and the Senate changes. What does it mean for our pocketbooks? The programs, $15,000 of programs to start, but more items are coming on in. We'll be going to student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that, and we'll be turning to fifth stimulus as well, coming in January. But then the talk of the town, the law of the land, the scandal of the South is frame wars. It's coming up with the latest installment in episode 5 tonight. Those details and more as we go into a big evening. It's an exciting evening. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Late Daily for the excitement of the new LA Late live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LA Late at 9 a.m. Home LA Late returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LA Late at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA Late. And the excitement is right now as we go into the second half of Evenings LA. The breaking news is that the House of Representatives have passed your recon, and away we go to the Senate. So what are the Senate changes going to be? What are they going to add in there? The programs starting are paying out about $15,000. What are the additional programs the senators will add? I have that in the second half of this video. Then we'll be turning to third stimulus. That's paying out on average $45,000 a check. So I have the latest details on that. Student loan debt forgiveness, more debt could be forgiven. And then we turn to that COLA raise and fifth stimulus coming in January. You need that as well. We'll be turning also to the exciting details of frame wars, as frames are heating up and so are the wars about them. Those details and more as we go into a big, bold second half of this video. It's a big evening. I'm excited you're here. And this is LA. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers to YouTube record. And once you're part of the family, hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Coming up next is Evenings Countdown, then the Stream Stimulus, then Sirloin, and then shows at 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock tonight, all about 4 stimulus. And here we go as we rock and roll into the second half of this video starting right now. The President of the United States got his big win this week, and that win was the passage of your 4th stimulus recon in the House of Representatives. We're now over to the Senate. And what's important to understand is that that recon that's coming out of the House is just the starting point, because the senators are adding more provisions on top of that. The passage of that recon was a big win for the president, and now we're off to the Senate. The senators are going to add more changes. What are they? I'm going to show those to you in a second. But we're starting with about $15,000 of checks in this 4th stimulus recon right out the door. First check is paid leave. It pays a lot. How much? $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. $800 a week if you make $35,000 or more per year. $400 a week if you make $15,000 or more per year. How many weeks? 4 weeks a year. Whoa, that's a lot. So that's about $5,000 to $6,000 on the high end. Now, the eligibility is even better. All income levels and also W-2 or 1099. What's important to understand is what this is. You have to stay home for work because of illness, death, or birth of a child in the household, not COVID related. So if you don't work, but your son or daughter you live with does, then they're going to get the benefits for the whole household, including you. Case in point, you're a senior and you live with your son or daughter. They take you to the doctor once a week and they have to take off from work. They lose money for work. Now they'll get a check, and that check will be for the full household. Wow, that is incredible. And the eligibility also incredible with all income levels, and also with the W-2 and the 1099 all qualifying. The first add-on, the other check that falls right behind that, or actually a benefit, is the SALT cap. It's wonderful. So the SALT cap starts with the premise that the current law is not sufficient. The 2017 tax code under Trump put the limit of $10,000 as you can deduct on federal tax returns from state tax returns of $10,000. They're going to raise that up. There'll be a higher now cap of $72,500 of what you pay in state and local taxes. Now you'll be able to deduct up to $72,500 on your federal tax return. They got in there $40 billion of free job training. Very good, especially for my seniors, because on the 5th stimulus, it's going to allow you to get back to work if you want and still get your check. They got the Medicaid gap fix in there. Wow, this is big. There's 12 Republican governor states where they refused to pay for this money for Obamacare. They were called the holdout states. So now the Democrats have a workaround plan. The workaround plan will offer subsidized private insurance at a discounted rate to low-income households that are uninsured in those states. Wow. Which brings us then to the $150 billion for housing. And that is where third stimulus kicks in. Why? Look at this. This is fourth stimulus. $150 billion of housing, rent, utilities, mortgage assistance. That's all third stimulus repeated under fourth stimulus. It is. And then they add in there also home repairs, weatherize your home, and first-time home purchases. So what's at issue here is that those first few items are all third stimulus repeated. So if you're watching this video today and you got bills to pay, don't wait for fourth stimulus. Get it from third stimulus today. Third stimulus is still paying out, and that is rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, food, and other items. And I'm going to show you how to get this big sums of money right now. You got bills to pay? You got bills to pay this week, you got bills to pay next week, then get it from third stimulus, and it's paying out. First, let's go over broadly what's at issue. You qualify. You qualify. End of sentence, end of paragraph, end of story. You qualify. Single, married, young, old, behind on bills, not behind on bills, red state, blue states. You qualify. So get that pen and paper ready. I'm going to show you how to get this big sums of money. We're going to start with rent. The rent numbers have gone up astronomically. Wow, they were $20,000 to $30,000 a month ago. Now they're much higher. Let's look at that graphic from about 3 months ago. This is an older graphic where viewers like Nisi all the way up to Mark and others were getting about $20,000 to $30,000. Here we go. This is 3 months ago. There's Nisi at $20,000, Elizabeth at $27,000. Now it's $40,000. Why has it gone up so much? Because of a few reasons. One, rent has gone up. Number two, viewers are watching these videos all day long, and they're learning, and they're getting better at this. Number three, I've told people to get multiple sums of money, so they are. So where do you get this rent? Let's start with the places to get the rent. If you're a member, you get the newsletter nightly, Monday through Friday. It features where to get this, but here's for everyone else. 6 places. Your city hall, your city house authority. Your county hall, your county house authority. Your state hall, and your state house authority. And the keywords also feature in the newsletter, you can say, are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. All right, so here are a couple important things to know. Number one, you must, M-U-S-T, reach out to all 6 places. Do not reach out to one and get a no and stop. They have different eligibility. They have different pots of money. One may say no. You continue to push. Reach out to all 6 places. Number two, do not put one application on file. Don't do that. Don't put one application, just wait for them to approve it. No, put application on file everywhere. Finally, you can get multiple sums of rent. So if you got rent from one organization in February, you can get again now. If you got rent from one organization last week, you can get rent from another organization today. That's how it works. Do the same thing with mortgage assistance, which brings us to utilities. The utility assistance has gone up astronomically. This was 3 months ago, and now utility assistance is upwards of $15,000. Why has it grown so much? One, utility bills have gone up. Two, viewers are getting better about this. The Consumer Price Index number released last week shows that heating oil has gone up 49.1% year to date. So get those utilities. Get all utility companies paid. If you got 5, get 5. This is where I speak specifically to my seniors. If anyone is watching and says, I'm not good with a computer, I don't know if I could do this, the answer is yes, you can. You don't need a computer. You just need your phone, your pen, and your paper. Why? Because you've called up your utility companies before to report an outage or a leak. You can call them up again and say, hey, utility assistance because of COVID. Utility assistance because of COVID. I know you can do it. Next, get SNAP. What is SNAP? It's money for food. Why have you not gotten it? If you got a third stimulus check, you should not be paying for your food. You get it from Department of Agriculture. And the money is astronomical. Mark's brother-in-law is now getting $25,000 a year from this channel, $250,000 over 10 years. Yes, benefits for SNAP have gone up 25% year to date. So continue, and that is lifetime. So get that SNAP. Reach out to Department of Agriculture. Next, get combos. Don't get one item and call it a day. I've had so many great success stories in the last 7 days since third stimulus has come back on this channel. People sending me DMs. You send me a DM, please. If you haven't, send it again of the success you've gotten this week. But most of them are people saying one item. Response is good. Go get some more. Mark, Nancy. Nisi and Nancy got 3 items, 32,000, 23,000. But I said to Mark, how many items did he get? 2 items, 32,000. I said, Mark, 2 items, 32,000. Get the third item. And Mark got the third item, bringing his grand total to $50,000. There you go. That's what you want to do. But Mark didn't stop there. He's got multiple items since then, and he's at $100,000. Keep on pushing, keep on calling. Lorraine, she was at 105, and now she's at 120. Very common for viewers of this channel to get over 100,000 from third stimulus, which brings us then to the story about Johnny. Johnny purely embodies this purple power spirit and everything about third stimulus. Johnny was one of 3 viewers who started a week recently with $0. By the middle of the week, he and those 2 other people had 45,000 from 3 programs. Good. But he didn't stop there. He continued to push. By the weekend, Johnny had 7 items approved. Wow, 7 items? That means Johnny called at least 15 places in 5 days. That's what you do. 15 places. How much did he get? $80,000. $80,000 in 5 days. The reason I like that story is because Johnny shows you don't call one place and call it a day. You call 15 places. Second part of the story I specifically like is what happened the following Monday. Johnny reached out to his family members and said, hey, I got $80,000 off the internet. Where? They said, this guy on YouTube, LA, he's the real deal. Everyone's watching it. And this is big. And they said, where'd you get it from? Third stimulus, he said. They said, third stimulus, Johnny. There's no money in third stimulus. I watch the local news. I read the paper. I watch broadcast media. I watch cable news networks. And they say there's no other money in third stimulus except a $14 stimulus check. He said, no, there is. He covers it. They don't cover it. Go get it. And by the end of the week, those 2 family members each had $50,000. I like the second half of Johnny's story because it truly embodies what's going on. Other YouTube channels, broadcast media, print media, cable news networks, they don't cover how to get money. They never have. They never will. They didn't cover it on the first stimulus. They didn't cover it on the second stimulus. They didn't cover it on the third stimulus. And they're certainly not going to cover it on a fourth stimulus. This week when fourth stimulus passed in the House of Representatives, the cable channels put up a graphic. This, 4 items, 20 billion, 30 billion. This is what's in the recon. Done. Move on to Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson. I mean, it's just like, what is that? That doesn't tell me anything. It doesn't tell me how to get money. Just broadly talking about sort of a bill in a vacuum. And so the difference here is you're learning, we're a community. The volunteers help me, help you, I help you. And that is what happens. We're going through each of these checks one at a time. As soon as it becomes long, to show you how to get each of these sums of money, as well as I've done that on the third and second stimulus as well, which brings us back into that housing provision under fourth stimulus. So we have the first time home purchases. This is first time, and it's a home, single family. We have the weatherizing your home, likely for all types of homes in those weather-prone areas like hurricane and natural disaster type areas. And then we have the home repairs. This would likely be a grant for low-income communities. Then what else is in this recon? $150 billion of in-home health care for my seniors and people who are disabled. They got tuition in there, $550 checks for the Pell Grant recipients. Great. And then they got $12,500 for the purchase of an electric vehicle, U.S. on your manufacturer, U.S. shop. I see big problems with this provision, folks, big problems. The first problem is what cars? At the moment, there's 1 car and maybe 3 cars that qualify. How can you have a provision where 3 cars qualify? It was only the Chevy Volt about 2 months ago. Then this week, it became also the Hummer, $100,000 truck has a stimulus provision. That doesn't make any sense. And then the Cadillac Lyric and the Ford Lightning reportedly may be made in Tennessee. That's it. That's no bueno. What's going on here? The provision has a language that says $12,500 for the purchase of an electric car. It's easy. U.S. auto manufacturer, that's easy. Ford, Chrysler, GM. Union shop, that's easy. And made in the U.S. Okay, that's the problem. Chrysler and all these companies, most of their electric union shops are in Mexico or Canada. They're not here. So suddenly you're not allowing these other cars to qualify. That's why you only see 2-3 cars and a $100,000 car. That doesn't make sense. The second part of this provision, I think this is where it's going to blow up in the president's face. I think it's a trade law violation. I think it violates the fair trade agreements between U.S., Mexico, and Canada. Why? Because if you have a Ford Mach E, beautiful Mustang, Ford Mach E, electric SUV, union shop, Ford, union workers, U.S. union workers, made in Mexico, it doesn't qualify just because it's made in Mexico. Why? That doesn't make any sense. And the same truck and the same type of truck made by Cadillac in Tennessee does qualify. You can't do that. I think it's a violation of trade policies. Moreover, I don't understand why there's a recall for 3 trucks. I think someone didn't think this through, and I think this is one's going to get changed. $65 a month for kids when they're not in school. They got that in there. And then we go to the best provision of this recon, which is the cheaper medications. Medicare will be rolling out a big preferred new rate because of ending 20 years of tyranny, where Big Pharma could just charge what they want to charge. No longer the case. It's going to be the most expensive medication, like cancer, arthritis, and diabetes, dramatically slashed. That'll undergo good faith negotiations day one. 20 medications on day one, like insulin, dropping from $1,000 a dose to $35 a dose. And it will grow to 30 medications by year 2028. They cannot increase more than the rate of inflation. And if they do, if Big Pharma tries to do it, there's a penalty provision in there. Really? Not so, says Pat Toomey, the Senate Republican. He says you can't have a penalty provision or recon. I think he's right. Pat Toomey is usually right about stuff like this. We've been following him for over a year, and when he talks about something so specific as something like that, he's usually right. Who's going to determine this? The Senate parliamentarian. She's a public official, and she's looking over the recon for that type of provision. Anything else that violates that cannot go. I think the thing about the cars is going to go. I think it has to get modified. You can't have a law pass the Senate that violates U.S. trade policies. I don't think it makes sense. She previously ruled immigration reform has to come out. I think it will come out. And then the paid leave, that's a battleground as well. So what's happening when we land in that Senate? Well, the senators have a lot of changes to make to this recon. And it's sort of like a cake. The cake has been baked. It looks beautiful. It smells delicious. It is delicious. And that cake is going to give you about $15,000 of checks, but it's not finished, the cake. And the senators are adding more checks on top of that cake. And those checks are strawberries and whipped cream and icing. And so when it lands in the Senate, the senators are adding a lot of stuff. Bernie's been saying this for months. That's the best bill since 1960s, but the major gaps. And all the same senators who say they want to give you an MSE, multiple stimulus check, also say there's a lot of provisions they need to add in there. Casey Coons, Sanders Schumer, Warren Wyden, you need to advocate. So get that pen and paper ready. Let's go over some checks in this recon. So far at $15,000, but will definitely grow. And those checks start with universal pre-kindergarten, free for 1 year, 3 to 4 year olds. That's child tax credit, back end. The child care credit, back end. The CTC, the front end check, $3,600. The earned income tax credit got in there for the essential workers, hazard pay, back end. Home health care covered benefit. Then the hearing services got hearing aid. That is front end, likely a check. We went over the housing, we went over the Pell Grant 550, and we went over the $65 a month check per child when they're not in school. So what else would the Senate add in there? In addition to the push to add in the MSC, Bernie wants to do the Medicare expansion, hearing, dental, vision, and lowering the Medicare eligibility age. So when you look at that, let's go over the first provision. Bernie wants to drop the Medicare eligibility age. It's currently 65. He wants it 55. I don't think it's going to 55. I think the Bob Casey provision, 60, works. I think that'll happen. Then Bernie wants to do Medicare expansion into dental. Absolutely agree, 100%. He wants to do 10 years of full benefits. I don't see 10 years happening. Too expensive. He proposed 3 years. I think 3 years could happen full benefits. Last offer on the table was a $850 check. I don't think that cuts it. $850 check. It was a check directly to you. That's not enough. It doesn't cover most procedures. So we'll see how this happens. Which brings us to the third item, which is a pair of eyeglasses, a pair of frames, and a prescription per year an eye exam. And that is vision. And I think they can do this. $50 an eye exam at Costco. $100 a frame at your local frame stores, and it's so simple to send out a $150 check per individual per year who are on Medicare. Done. No, not done. It's Frame Wars. Frame Wars says that's not sufficient. In the latest Frame War episode, one viewer said, "No, Lalate, that's not sufficient. Bernie needs to advocate for 3 frames per year. One for distance, one for reading, and one for sunglasses, because I'm very important." That same viewer said it needs to be 14 karat gold. There's no gold in this recon. I keep on mining for it, and all I find is Joe Manchin's mines and coal mines. There's no gold in this recon. In the first episode, one viewer said $450 frames. That's what I get. That's what my daughter gets. That's what Bernie needs to cast. He ain't getting you $450 frames. In the second episode, we had one viewer said, "I need trifolds." Trifolds. What's trifolds? Is that origami glasses? They keep on folding. I don't know what that is. Then in the third episode, someone said, "I need special tinting changes of the color of the glass." Is that purple? Because sometimes they don't see eye to eye on us with even purple frames. So where's the situation going on frames? Let's take a look and see what's going on with the latest installment of Frame Wars. And that is Frame Wars. Well, that guy was dancing really well. And if only he had danced in front of Kevin McCarthy, we would have been done with this recon one day earlier. And there you go. Let's go to the first add-on that would go by executive order, and it's called student loan debt forgiveness. The president has an offer on the table, and the Democrats should take it. It is a student loan. It would go by executive order. The offer, $10,000. The Democrats should take it. The president previously gave 3 rounds of student loan debt. Individuals who became disabled after graduation, individuals who went to work in the nonprofit sector, and individuals who went to work in the public sector. Democrats should take the $10,000 offer. Then COLA, your benefits are going up 5.9% next year, but that's just a start and not sufficient. Your benefits going up 5.9% January 1, but the stimulus says there's a problem. There is a problem. Your benefits have been left behind. They've been undervalued for many years because COLA is a bad benchmark. So they first want to raise your benefits up one big time to get you caught up. Then apply a new benchmark. Every December 2022 is the first year of inflation. Inflation is always 2 to 3% every year. So that means you'll step up every year. Then remove the asset cap, remove the income cap, and remove the marriage penalty. There you go. Finally, if you haven't become a member, what are you doing? The membership link is under the video. Become a member today to get the incredible newsletter that goes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system and the LA Late alert system. The LA Late alert system is also in the description of the video. It's at news.la.com/alerts. And yes, this newsletter goes out Monday through Friday. You want to get it. It features the big money under third stimulus and features all that information you need. First, the 6 places you reach out to for the rent, the keywords you say for rent and utilities, the money for the nonprofits, the 5 nonprofits. It features also the letter from Treasury, which describes the additional money off of rent that's going out. You want to get that information to apply it before you get it. And the big money that viewers have gotten, like the Lorica and the Art Sullivans and the Nisi and the Marks and the Lorraine, has been from being members, reading the newsletter, going through it and understanding, applying it. You can do this. I have confidence in you. So with that, become a member today. And with that, we also go into our final minutes of this big evening's Allied. There's so much to comment about in a big night across the board, but let's touch on a few issues right now. The first issue is the excitement of the landing in the Senate. I feel the excitement. Do you feel this excitement? We all do. The senators have been the leaders to add stuff into this recon since day one. Those 6 senators vowing to add an MSC in there. And this week, 3 viewers picked up the phone and called. They were Lynn, Glenn, and Donnie, and another viewer, and said, "I need it." And we're told, yes, it's going in there. You need to do the same thing. Sanders Schumer, Warren Wyden, Casey Coons, you need to pick up the phone and call and get that message loud and heard. Because guess what? This is when they start to put things in there. They need to be reminded. They need to be repushed. They need to be reinvigorated. They need to be re-inspired by you to make that push across the board. But give yourself some time in a given week to make the phone calls for third stimulus. You got bills to pay. Get the bills paid right today. The reason I love third stimulus is because it's not just bills from today, it's bills into the future. It's bills way into the future. So when you get that rent paid to, let's say, spring of 2022, next month when you go to buy something, you say, oh, I don't think I can buy it, I have to make rent. Oh, wait, I don't have to pay for rent. The rent's covered because I was watching Lalate. That's how the difference is. So you free up a couple $100 every month, and that a couple $100 you freed up, guess what you're going to do with it? You know what you're going to do with it. Maybe pay another bill, pay a bill that you haven't taken care of, or another holiday gift for another person for a meal on the holiday table. Yes, when you do that with 1, 2, 3, 4 items, yes, you do it. For everyone who jumps in the live chat and posts a success story, you're helping other people as well. You're inspiring them to pick up the phone and call. Let's be frank. Forced stimulus is not sending out anyone any money next week or this week. It's just not. No time or place to wait for forced stimulus to land in your hand. It's time to make the phone call for third stimulus. If I can make the time and effort to appear on camera with half a voice, you can make the time and effort to pick up the phone and be the voice for inclusion of items in forced stimulus, but also be the voice for yourself. Picking up the phone and calling the utility companies to get utility assistance because of COVID or rent assistance because of COVID. You could do it. If you only have a phone, a pen, and paper, that's all you need. You can get these sums of money. For all the people who sent me incredible messages in the last few days, continue to do. I'll feature them all on camera together as a whole in the next few days, showing the peak success of people across the board. But for many of you who have gotten one item this week, please go get some more items. Don't settle with one item. Get multiple sums of items. Remember, it's volume. It's volume. You need to call 10, 12 paces. 8 places, 15 places. Don't call one place and call it a day. That's not how it does. Do not say, hey, can that volunteer go get me some money? No, that's not how we do it. Do you think Johnny or Lorraine or Mark said, hey, can I have a volunteer go get me some money? No, that's not the approach. The approach is learning how to do it and applying and then going in the money, and you can do it. I have full confidence in you. It's important to understand that you can always apply the situation slightly to your situation and use the information I give you to modify it to what you're going on in your life. I've had many viewers get their past due medical bills paid by the nonprofit. Not something I really cover on this channel, but they applied it. I've had people getting utility bills. I didn't know you can get these particular utility bills paid for, or different types of items. I never knew about the small furnaces, the small refrigerator paid by the nonprofits. It's always a surprise across the board. When you take the information, you apply the information, you can get more money than you ever thought. As we go into a big week, it's important to understand that information is what's going to make your holidays wonderful. Information is what's going to make your holidays wonderful. Why? Because the information is going to get you money. Available today. Third stimulus, a lot of it. A lot of money available for you. You're going to get that money available for you because fourth stimulus is going to happen, but it ain't happening this week. You need bills paid. You got to get those bills paid. Remember, I can't get every bill paid. Don't create a bill that I don't cover on this channel. It doesn't serve any notion of the approach. You know you have bills, which I cover in this video, that can get paid. Get those paid. It freezes up cash, not just for this month, but the next month and the month thereafter. So then you can have that extra cash for those other bills. Meantime, it's just, things are just changing. My voice is here, and then it's gone. And then, did you see what happened on the beach? Oh, you didn't. You didn't see what happened on the beach. Someone in Santa Monica, a YouTuber, thought it'd be cute to bring cows to the beach in Santa Monica to promote the return of a personality, to promote the return of holidays, LA, at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time daily on a particular YouTube channel. And that YouTuber thought it'd be very cute to bring the cows on the beach in the middle of winter in Santa Monica. What was the reaction? Oh boy, there were some reactions. Let's take a look and see what happened. And there you go. Join me next with Countdown and then Stream Stimulus, Sirloin at 8 o'clock. And then we got shows at 9, 10, 11 o'clock and as well tonight. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that like button and consider becoming a member. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful evening, and stay here all throughout the night. And stay, of course, with Lalate for more.